Good morning, students. I hope everyone is safe at your place. Yes, I am to safe in my place. So, today we are here to learn the science. As we know, this is the starting lecture, the first chapter, gravitation, which we will learn today, in which we know what is gravitation. So let's see this video, you will understand and you come to know what is gravitation, because this is the famous scientist Sir Isaac Newton, who invented or who discovered the phenomena of gravitation. So what is gravitation? Let's see what happened. As we all know that he discovered the force by seeing an apple fall from a tree on the ground, and he wondered why all apples fall vertically downward and not at an angle to the vertical. Why do they not fly off in a horizontal direction? After much thought, he came to conclusion that the earth must be attracting the apple towards itself, and this attractive force must be directed towards the center of the earth. The direction from the apple on the tree to the center of the earth is a vertical direction at the position of the apple, and thus apple falls vertically downwards. So we will learn more about gravitation, in which inverse square law of gravitation. We already know the Kepler's law, three Kepler's law, then circular free fall, what is acceleration due to the gravitational force. So let's start with our topic, inverse square law of gravitation. First, centripetal force. Centripetal force is the force which is directed towards the center of the circle, or we can consider the earth also. So what is centripetal force? Let's consider an object moving in a circle with constant speed. We have seen earlier that such a motion is possible only when the object is constantly acted upon by a force directed towards the center of the circle. This force is called the centripetal force. If m is the mass of the object, v is its speed, and r is the radius of the circle, then it can be shown that this force is equal to F is equal to mv square upon r. You can see F is equal to mv square upon r. This is the centripetal force of any object which is moving in a constant speed. Then let's consider our earth. If we consider our planet, the planet is revolving around the sun in a circular orbit in uniform linear motion. Then the centripetal force acting upon the planet towards the sun must be F is equal to mv square. Yes, F is equal to mv square. Then where m is the mass of the planet, v is its speed with which it revolving around itself, and r is its distance from the sun. Yes. Then The speed of the planet can be expressed in the term of period of revolution t as follows. Let's see how Isaac Newton discovered the inverse square law of gravitation. So the speed of planet can be expressed in the form of t, that is revolution t, capital T, as follows. The distance travelled by planet in one revolution is equal to perimeter of the orbit 2 pi r, and r is equal to distance of the planet from the sun. Here consider r is the distance of the planet from the sun. So time taken is period of revolution is equal to t. Let's see. V is equal to, V is the speed of earth. V is equal to distance travelled. Distance travelled from the sun, and upon time taken. How much time taken to travel the distance from the sun? That is V, speed. It should be 2 pi r upon t. V is equal to distance travelled upon time taken, that is equal to 2 pi r upon t, because we know distance travelled is nothing but the 2 pi r, that is perimeter of the orbit. Then next is step F is equal to mv square upon r is equal to m into bracket 2 pi r upon t by bracket square upon small r is equal to 4 m pi square r upon t square, multiplying and dividing by r square, and we get 4 f is equal to 4 m pi square upon r square is equal to r cube, here r cube upon t square, according to the Kepler's third law. We should remember the Kepler's third law is that t square upon r cube is equal to k. So next step is F. F is force. Force is equal to 4 m pi square upon r square plus r square k. But we know 4 m pi square upon k is equal to constant, is the constant. So what the next? Thus the Newton concluded that the centripetal force, which is force acting on the planet and is responsible for its circular motion, must be inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the planet and the sun. Newton identified this force with the force of gravity and hence postulated the inverse square law of gravitation. The gravitational force, which is form of we can say which is created by the earth, is much weaker than other forces in nature, but it controls the universe and also it decides its future. How this is possible? Because of the huge masses of planets, stars and other constituents of the universe. I hope understand. So based on the inverse square law of gravitation, there is one example. See, Mahendra and Virat are sitting at a distance of 1 meter from each other. Their masses are 75 kg and 80 kg respectively. What is the gravitational force between them? Let's solve this example. For that, we need to understand the given values first. So what is given? Given is that is r. R is equal to 1 meter. R is nothing but the distance between Virat and Mahendra. So distance between Virat and Mahendra is 1 meter. So m1, that is mass of the Mahendra, that is 75 kg, and m2, mass of the Virat is 80 kg. It is given. What is gravitational force between them? So gravitational force that we have to calculate the F. And again the constant value of gravitation, that is g, is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square plus kg square, which is the constant, and we all know this is the already given. Now according to the Newton's law, according to F is equal to G m1 m2 upon r square. So G is the gravitation between them, m1 m2 that is mass of the Virat and Mahindra, and upon r square, that is square of their distance, that is 1. So next is F. Let's simplify or let's put values in it. F is equal to G is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11. M1 is 75. M2 is 80. So let's put the denominator upon r square. R square is 1 square. Next, if we calculate the answer should be 4.002 into 10 raised to minus n. N is Newton. This is the unit of the gravitation. Next, so or hence the gravitational force between Mahindra and Virat is 4.002 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton. Then based on this, the second example is there, but first of all we know the first Virat's, that is Mahindra's force, and Virat's gravitational force is, we know this is very small force, 4.002 into 10 raised to minus 2. Why it is? If the force of friction between Mahindra and the bench on which he is sitting is 0, then he will start moving towards Virat's under the action of this force. And we can calculate this acceleration and velocity by the using of law of Newton's law of motion. Then the second example is here in the above example, that is the Mahindra and Virat's example. First, in the above example, assuming that the bench of which Mahindra is sitting is frictionless, starting with 0 velocity, what will be the Mahindra's velocity of motion towards Virat after 1 second? Will this velocity change with the time, and how? Let's see the given values first. Given is what? Mahindra's mass, that is which is already given in the example first. Mahindra's mass is m is equal to 75 kg. Force on Mahindra, that is equal to F, which we calculated in the first example, that is F is equal to 4.002 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton, which we calculated in the previous example. Now the next, according to Newton's second law, the acceleration produced by the force on Mahindra, that is equal to 75 kg. According to Newton's second law, we know the acceleration produced by the force on Mahindra is 75 kg. So A is equal to F upon m, that is acceleration is equal to F is force upon m, m is mass, that is equal to 4.002 into 10 raised to minus 7, which is the force which we calculated in the first example, upon m, m is the mass of Mahindra. So it is 75, that is equal to 5.34 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter per second square. Using Newton's first equation, we can calculate Mahindra's velocity after 1 second. Newton's first equation of motion is V is equal to U plus AT. We know the first equation of motion is velocity is equal to u plus at. As Mahendra is sitting on the bench, his initial velocity is 0. You know, u is equal to 0, that is initial velocity. And assuming the bench to be frictionless. So bench on which Mahendra is sitting should be frictionless, or we are assuming that this is frictionless. So V is equal to 0 because friction is 0. V is equal to 0 plus 534 point, into 10 raised to minus 9 into 1. 1 is 1 second time. We are putting values into v is equal to u plus at. V is equal to u is initial time, that is friction, we are assuming that is 0, that's why 0 is came over there, plus 5.34, that is we have calculated in the above step. This is the acceleration produced by the Mahendra. So the V is equal to 0 plus 53.4 into 10 raised to minus 9 into 1. Into 1, that is the same value, 5.03 into 10 raised to minus 9. So V is equal to 5.34 into 10 raised to minus meter per second. So Mahendra's velocity after 1 second will be 5.34 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter per second. Before that, we calculated the velocity of Mahendra's. We see this is an extremely small velocity, but the velocity will increase with the time because of acceleration, and the acceleration will also not remain constant because as Mahendra moves towards Virat, the distance between them will decrease, causing an increase in the gravitational force, thereby increasing the acceleration as per Newton's second law of motion, that is the acceleration 5 point sorry this is the acceleration 5.34 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter per second square. I hope everyone understand. So what we learned today? Today we have learned the Newton's inverse square law of gravitation. Also we learned two examples based on that, where we calculated force and the acceleration on the Virat and on the Mahendra. So let's stop here. Thank you so much.